Mine's probably hiking, Jenny. Love the wildflowers. They're so
Pretty right now, and it's been so
lush up in the mountains and green. All right, so we'll go ahead and begin. Come to a comfortable position where you can remain still. And right away you'll notice that this stillness is an anchor point. It's an anchor point for our awareness and our attention to rest into. Once our attention begins to settle and we become more present, we can begin to glance and glimpse into our heart. And ask yourself what it is that you need to nourish and nurture on your mat today. Or maybe what you need to nourish in your life. And with permission from the heart, we allow it to flourish. Take 10 cycles of breath. Soften the eyes, relax the tongue away from the roof of the mouth. Just feel your intent flourish. Inhale. Exhale. Open up the eyes, make your way into a tabletop. You'll flip one of the palms up towards the ceiling. Begin to cat-cow through the spine. And as you bend and arc through the upper back, mid-back, and low back, you find the opposite sensation as you open through the chest, the collarbones, the front of the pelvis. Flowing through a few cycles of breath. Bending and arcing. And extending and opening. One more cycle, and then you'll flip the palms. Switch the palms out. Really feel the texture of the mat that you're pressing into. Feel it on the palms of your hands, the tops of your feet, the kneecaps. And the arms, the shoulders, the side bodies feel even and balanced. Flip both palms over. Walk the hands, one handprint forward, and curl the toes under for downward facing dog. Feel the texture of the earth underneath. From the big toe mounds to the pinky's edge, stretch the heels to the earth. Spread wide through the soles of the feet. Spread wide through the upper chest and the upper back. And glance into your heart. The right leg lifts up high, three-legged dog. Knee to elbow. Three-legged down dog. Knee to elbow. Three-legged down dog. Pause. Lower the right hip. Press into the left ball of the foot. And use that pressure from the left ball of the foot to step the right leg forward and through in between your thumbs to a low lunge. Open arm twist to the right. The whole of the left leg lifts up to the ceiling. Quadricep up to the hamstring. Shin to the calf. Even out the pelvis. Lower the right hand down. Equal out the weight between both of your legs and interlace the fingers. Rise up to crescent. On the exhale, ground down through your feet and bring your hands back down towards your pelvis. Inhale, reach the arms up, slide the shoulder blades down away from the ears. Nice, Kathy. Release, hands come to hips. Last round, inhale. You're such good listeners. I cued you wrong and you guys did it exactly what you were told. Low lunge, very nice. Fingers frame the top foot. Runner's block, left ankle steps to right. Take your hands to heart center. Rekindle that intention that speaks to you from a heartfelt place. Make it genuine and whole. What is it you need to nurture and nourish? Step the left leg back, lunge, straighten through the right leg for pyramid pose. The crease of the right hip draws back. The right rib and left rib settle evenly towards the mat. The breath begins to spread the shoulder blades wide. And there's a light hollowing down at the pelvic floor. Bend into the right knee, low lunge. Runner's block, left ankle to the right. Curtsy lunge, step the left leg wide, lower the hips down, bringing the hands to heart. Side body stretch up and over to the right. Dump weight into the left foot to revolve the rib cage open to the sky. Armpits wide, shoulder blades slide down away from the ear. Bring the hands to heart center, set your gaze to the front of the room. Tree pose, left foot steps to the inside of the right. Left leg steps back for a wide stance. Straighten both legs, triangle pose. Glide the hips back, lengthen the crown of the head forward. Stand firm through the legs. Reach long through the arms. Star. Warrior 2 to the mat behind you. Right heel lengthens down. Drop weight into the left heel, reverse warrior. Extended side angle, hand comes behind the foot. Modified side plank. Firmly plant down through the palm of the hand. Lift the knee. Draw the fingers and the toes to the back corners of your mat. As the fingers and toes reach behind you, the pelvis and the rib cage can revolve up. So externally rotating the spine up and out. Side plank. Lower the hips down. Draw the heels into the seat, mermaid up and over to the front of the room. Soften down through the shoulder and through the jaw. Down to the forearm. We'll get heavy through the pelvis and through the bones of the legs. Mermaid. Fingers come behind the hips. The extension comes from your pelvis. Extend the legs out straight, staff pose. Ground the heels, widen through the back of the thighs, and lift light through the heart. One leg lifts off the mat, then the other. Flexing the toes so the whole leg stays engaged and active. Now, is the lift coming from the low belly, or is the lift coming from the lightness in the heart and the intention that you're nurturing? Balance the legs out. Then draw the heels to the back of your mat. Mermaid up and over. Side plank, right hand's your foundation. Extend the legs straight, press into your feet, equal weight between feet and the right palm. Top leg lifts off the mat, flex through the top foot. Three-pointed high plank, both hands come down to the earth as the chest and the hips square to the mat. Lower the right knee down, hug the elbows in, left leg stays reaching, bird dog. Lower the chest down and lift it up. Lower the chest, slide the ribs to the hips. All 5 fingers press the earth away. One more cycle of breath. Right toes curl under, left leg reaches back, 3-legged dog. Knee to elbow. 3-legged dog. Knee to elbow. Round through the upper back. Stand strong on the palms of your hands. 3-legged dog, hold. Reach back through the left sole and the right ball of the foot. And that potential energy that's stored in the right foot is going to help you draw the left leg through to low lunge. Press into it and lift away from it. Open arm twist to the left. Hug the left knee in towards your midline. Get broad across the collarbones. Release the hands down, interlace the fingers. Rise up to crescent. Exhale, hands to hips. Inhale, reach the arms up, stretch through the forearms. Hands come down to the hips. One more round. Expand the lungs, stretch the lungs into the rib cage. Exhale. Hands lower down, release the hands, low lunge. Weight through the left heel, runner's block, nice and slow. Your transitions are part of that moving meditation. Draw the hands up to heart center, nourish what needs. What's calling for your intent. Step the right leg back to a low lunge. Straighten through the left leg, pyramid pose. Left hip crease pulls back, side bodies remain long. And the breath is full. Bend into the left knee, low lunge. Runner's block. Curtsy, right foot steps nice and wide, lower the hips down. Side body stretch up and over to the left. Turn the armpits, the rib cage, at the mid-belly up to the sky. Settle the shoulders down away from the ears. Full breath in and out. Settle your gaze in front of you. Bring your hands to heart. Tree pose. Right leg steps to the inner leg line. Right leg steps back for a wide stance. Triangle pose. Straighten both legs. Stand strong on your legs. Then glide the hips back. Triangle pose. So the legs provide you a nice solid foundation for the extension of the spine and the length of the side body. The spreading open of the chest and the expansion of the heart. Nourish what's calling your attention. Rise up to star. Warrior 2 to the space behind you. Left heel anchors back. Stretch through the outer ankle, the outer shin. Reverse warrior. Extended side angle. Hand comes to the back of the foot. Cute pants. Modified side plank. Plant the hand down. Lift the knee up quietly. Fingers and toes to the back of your mat, hips and ribs up to the ceiling. So the shoulder blade stabilizes on your back. The bottom hip rolls under so the top arm and leg can roll out. Modified side plank. Lower the hips, draw the heels in. Mermaid up and over. To the forearm. Back to the front. Hands come behind the hips. Straighten the legs from the pelvis and the lift of the pelvic floor. Ground the feet, lift the heart. Both legs lift off the mat. Quadriceps pull away from the kneecaps. The exhale helps to lift the low belly and lighten the legs. One more round. Inhale. Exhale. Draw the heels around to the back of your mat. Mermaid up and over. Side plank. Left hand to your foundation. Straighten out the legs. Lift the hips. Top leg hovers off the bottom. Flex through the foot. 3 pointed high plank. Lower the left knee down to the earth. Keep the shoulders over the wrists. Bird dog. Narrow the elbows. Chest comes to the mat and then lifts back up. So the reach of the leg will help to take some load off of the upper body. So pendulum the weight forward and back. Curl the left toes underneath you. Reach the right leg high, 3-legged down dog. All 5 fingers press into the mat. Inner arm line turns on, knee to elbow. Stand strong through the arms, 3-legged dog. Low lunge. Nice, Michelle. Open arm twist to the right. Low lunge. Runner's block. Hands to heart. Low lunge. Lengthen back the left leg from the extension at the pelvis. Straighten through the right leg. Keep the left fingers grounded for revolved pyramid. Right fingers up to the ceiling. Both legs are straight. Work to level out the hips. The right arm can extend up to the ceiling. Big toe mounds ground in. Inner heel gets heavy. Release. Low lunge. Runner's block. Curtsy. Side body stretch up and over. Everyone wants to rush out of that curtsy so fast. Tree pose or hand to knee. Extend the right leg out. Find your drishti. Left leg steps back for a wide stance. Both legs straighten out. Triangle pose. So with your increased proprioception, what we've been working on, you should know where to land that left leg, where you can get the most extension through the shape of triangle. Lean the torso back, press the hips forward, rise up to star. So knowing where you place your body in space will affect how you feel the shape that you're holding. Reverse warrior to the back of your mat. Extended side angle. Plant the hand down, side plank. Notice where you're planting your feet. Press into the feet, thread the needle, top arm threads under and lifts back up. You can always drop down to the bottom knee. Feel the texture of the mat underneath the edges of your feet. Side plank, lower the hips down. Tuck the heels in, mermaid up and over. Mermaid to the forearm. Mermaid up and over, expand wide through the rib cage, pulling the waistband out of the pelvic bowl. Hands come behind the hips. From your pelvis, boat pose, extend the legs out. Lift the thighs. Draw the knees towards the chest. Will help you to decrease that load you're holding in the core. So if you want more, extend the legs straight and the arms. Then draw the length of the legs up towards the chest. Good. Heels come to the back of the mat. Tuck the heels in. Mermaid up and over. Side plank. Right hand's your foundation. Notice where you're straightening those legs to. Now press into the edges, lift the top leg, three-pointed high plank. Keep the left leg elevated, lower all the way down to the belly. Nice, Erin. Hands come flat by your hips, tops of the feet ground down. On the inhale, press into your hands and peel the heart away from the mat. So palms flat to the earth. And lower. Press into the palms, through the forearm, lift, and lower. Creating some space in the front part of the elbow joint. Inhale, lift, and lower. Your shoulders, curl the toes under, high plank, left leg stays lifted, three-legged down dog. Knee to elbow, downward facing dog, low lunge. Press into that right ball to step that leg forward. Nice, Anina. Open arm twist to the left. Hug the left hip back, low lunge. Runner's block. Now think about where you're setting that right leg back to, low lunge. Give yourself a wide stance. Straighten through the left leg, pyramid pose. Revolved pyramid, left hand lifts up to the ceiling. Bring it to the low back, level out through the hips, and then re-extend the arm up. How full is the breath and how present are you? Release the hands, low lunge, runner's block. Step the right foot wide. How much room do you need to get those hips down into a curtsy lunge? Nice, Heidi. Side body stretch up and over. Beautiful, Kathy. Hips and chest to the ceiling. Tree or hand to knee. Moving into triangle. Wide step back with that right foot. Think about where you're placing that foot to get the most effect out of the shape you're about to hold. Triangle pose. Lean the torso back, press the hips forward, then rise up to star. Warrior 2. Nice, Sharon. Reverse warrior. Extended side angle. Side plank. Thread the needle. Side plank. Thread the needle. Everybody's using their feet. So important to distribute that effort evenly between the head and the soles of the feet. Everything working together towards wholeness. Side plank. Lower the hips down. Tuck the heels in, mermaid up and over. Waistband pulls out of the pelvic bowl to the forearm. Neck softens, jaw softens. Mermaid. Now where are the fingertips planting behind you? Boat pose. Extend the legs from the pelvis. Use the fingertips to lift the torso up. And then settle into your shape. Continue to breathe. What do you need to nourish and nurture? How is your heart speaking to you? Draw the heels to the back of your mat. Tuck the heels in. That takes a lot of core strength. Mermaid. Side. Extend the legs straight. Side plank, top leg lifts, flex through the foot, 3-pointed high plank. Right leg stays lifted, lower all the way down to the belly. If that 3-pointed high plank is too much, come to your knees or a regular high plank. Palms are flat. Draw the palms and pinkies together. Elbows come as narrow as possible, and they're going to come underneath your hips. The chin will come down to the mat. The tops of the feet come down to the mat. On the inhale, press into the tops of the feet, the flat of the palm, the flatness of your palms, and lift the chest off the mat. Lower down. Good. Inhale, the tailbone lifts to the heels, the heart peels off the mat. You're pressing into the forearms and the pads of the hands. Good, one more round. Lift and lower. Curl the toes under, stretch through the soles of the feet, hands underneath the shoulders. Right leg lifts, 3-pointed high plank. Downward facing dog. Knee to elbow. 3-pointed down dog. Low lunge. Open arm twist to the right. Left leg lifts skyward. Low lunge. Stand into your feet, rise up to crescent. Interlace the hands at the nape of the neck, lift the heart, and feed the energy into the lower body. Glance into your heart. What's it communicating to you? It might be a lot different than the thoughts that occur in our minds. Release the hands, bring them to the low back for a chest expansion. Chest expansion, shoulder blades hug towards the spine. Humble crescent. Lift the left leg up, level out through the hips. Soften through the eyes. Release the hands. Runner's block. Curtsy. Side body stretch up and over. Tree, hand to knee, or peace fingers to big toe. Right leg extends out. Right arm extends out. Release the hands. Step the left leg back. Triangle pose. Glide the hips back. Top arm reaches for the mirror. Bring the right shoulder back in space. Rise up to star. Warrior 2. Reverse warrior. Extended side angle. Side plank. Top leg lifts. Step the foot, right foot up as high as you can so the whole foot is grounded. Then stand on the foot to lift the hips. Lower. Stand on the foot to lift the hips. Notice how it alleviates some of the pressure and the work from the grounded shoulder. Press into the foot. Press into the outer edge of the extended leg. Keep pressing into the extension and breathe. Stretching and toning through the outer right thigh. Then lower the hips down. Draw the heels in, mermaid up and over. Maybe roll out through the wrists, down to the forearm. Back up to the front of the room. Boat pose is your transition. Hands come behind the hips, legs extend out. Crossing at the ankles. Press the ankles into one another, lower. And lift. Lower. And lift. Uncross the ankles, heel to seat. Mermaid up and over. Side plank. 3 pointed high plank, top leg lifts. Lower all the way down to the belly. Bring the hands underneath the hips, in between the 2 iliac crests. So your 2 hip bones. Chin comes to the mat, top of the feet ground down. Zip the legs together and lift both of the legs off the mat. And lower. Now use your breath. I like to exhale and lift the legs. You might like to inhale and lift the legs. Play with it in your own body. But keep pressing firmly into those 5 fingers. Release. Bring the hands under the shoulders. Curl the toes under. High plank. Left leg reaches back. 3-legged down dog. Knee to elbow. 3-legged down dog. Low lunge. Open arm twist to the left. Lift the right leg up. Low lunge. Runner's block. Low lunge. Place the right foot wide. Give yourself a firm foundation. Stand up to crescent. Interlace the hands at the nape of the neck. Lift your heart and glance back into your heart. What do you need to nurture? Release the hands, bring the hands behind the hips, chest expansion, straighten through the arms, humble crescent. Come back to that breath. Release the hands, low lunge, runner's block. Beautiful, Jeanette. Curtsy. Side body stretch up and over. Tree pose, hands to knee or peace fingers to big toe mount. Find your drishti, breathe into it. Your release is a wide stance for triangle pose. Top arm reaches to the mirrors. Beautiful transitions, way to glide the body through space. Now lean the torso back. Rise up to star. Warrior 2. Reverse warrior. Extended side angle. Side plank. Top leg lifts. Bring the top leg up to hip height and stand on your foot. Continue to stand on your foot until you feel full activation from kneecap to hip joint, from hip joint up the pelvis into the side body. Then lower and press right back into that contraction. Lower and lift. Hold. The tissues activating. Lower the hips down, draw the heels into the seat. Side body stretch up and over. Then to the forearm. Back to mermaid. Boat pose. Cross at the ankles. Lower and lift. So this is your pattern of breath. Your mindful movement. Uncross the heels, draw the heels to the back of the mat, mermaid up and over. Side plank. High plank. Lower the knees down to the earth. The fingertips are coming to the knees as we prep for peacock pose. So flip the palms over and draw the elbows to one another. If this is too much, try bringing the fingers out but drawing the elbows to narrow in. You'll work the elbows almost to a 90-degree bend, drawing them narrow towards the front of the ribs. As you do that, you'll walk the knees back and just play with bringing weight forward. Back chest is going to lower. You're teeter-tottering the upper body and the lower body. And then maybe playing with lifting one leg, lifting the other leg. Just kind of feeling out where you feel strong and you may feel a little weak. And hold in that place of weakness to build integrity and strength around it. We all have our limitations and our strength. And we become empowered when we learn where they are. And then release, bring the hips over the heels, roll out through the wrists. Bring your hands to heart. And from this shape of stillness, glance back into your heart and what needs nourishing. Open up the eyes, tabletop, high plank. Right leg lifts up, three-legged dog, low lunge. Open arm twist to the right, low lunge, runner's block, low lunge. Beautiful. Walk the hands around to the left for Chapasana. Bring the hips down to the heels, flex through the right toes, and then lower and lift the hip. So all those curtsies we did will help you find a bit more depth as you drop the hip down and lift it back up. And this flossing motion is really good to stimulate that synovial fluid around our joint capsules. And that's what creates that glide. Lower the hips down, walk the hands back around to the right for low lunge. Runner's block. Curtsy. Know where you're placing that foot to get full extension out of the side body stretch. Very nice. Any option of tree, foot to inner thigh, hand to knee, or big toe pose. Wide step back to triangle pose. Top arm reaches for the mirrors, the bottom arm comes to meet it. Frame out your head, draw the back of the skull back, and tuck the chin in slightly. Now stand into your feet as you rise up to star. Very nice, everyone. Warrior two to the mat behind you. Reverse warrior. Extended side angle into side plank. Side plank, mermaid, lower the hips. Mermaid to the forearm. Back to the front of the room, into boat. Swing the hands around, the legs out in front, interlace your hands, chest expansion. You'll be teeter-tottering on your sit bones. Now as the legs go down, the chest comes to meet it, knuckles to the ceiling, chin to the chest. Sides of the room, hollow out through your navel, and breathe deeply across the back of the body. And expand the ribs with each breath you take in and each breath you let go. Release the hands, forward fold. Walk the hands forward, either to the toes, the ankles, or the calf. Pull yourself in a little deeper. Exhale out the air. Draw the heels to the back of the mat. Mermaid up and over. Side plank. High plank. Tabletop. Peacock. So you can stay with the first variation, and second, as you bend the elbows, work to extend one leg then the other, or full peacock. Elbows as close in, right underneath the rib cage. Chest falls down to the mat. You can stay here. One leg lifts. Let me get my hands in a better placement. Then the other leg lifts. Full peacock. So again, we work to where we feel a little weak, where we could build some strength, or maybe just building awareness. It's not always physical where we feel weak. Maybe we're moving in thinking. Two more rounds of breath. And then when you're done, we'll bring the hips to the heels, roll out through the wrists. Bring the hands to heart and rekindle what needs to be nourished. Maybe it's that idea of moving from thinking into feeling. Full breath in and out. Open up the eyes, come into tabletop, downward facing dog, left leg extends back. Low lunge. Open arm twist to the left. Low lunge. Runner's block. Low lunge. Walk the hands around to the right for Chapasana. Lower and lift the hips. And bring the hips back down. Walk the hands back around to the front of your mat for low lunge. Runner's block into curtsy. So flowing with your breath. Curtsy, side, bend. Any variation of tree. Triangle pose. Top arm reaches, bottom arm comes to frame the top arm. Head moves back, but chin tucks parallel. Star. Press into the feet. Warrior two. Reverse warrior. Extended side angle into side plank. Mermaid. To the forearm. To the front of the room. Hands behind the hips, boat. Interlace the hands, boat, chest expansion. Forward fold with the chest expansion. Now loosen up through the jaw, elongate through the cervical spine, the back of the neck. And hollow out through the belly. Release the hands, forward fold. Walk the hands up, bring the heels to the back of the mat, mermaid. Side plank. High plank. Tabletop. Second round, peacock pose. If the straight legs aren't serving you, you may want to try to bring the soles of the feet together. That decreases the lever, so the weight on the back of the legs will hold, so the knees just lift. That may be a little bit more accessible for you, or just a simple single leg lift, one at a time. 3 more rounds of breath to play. Whenever you're done, we'll meet with our hips on the heels. And then draw your hands to heart center. And come back to what it is you need to nourish. Maybe it's that desire to achieve and to nail it to perfection, your first round. Maybe the effort is simply enough. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the hands to the heels. Lift the chest. Roll the arm bones back for a slight extension of the upper back. Full breath in and out. Release the hands, bring the hips to either side. Extend the legs out in front of you and roll all the way down onto your back. Grab for the shins or the feet, rock the pelvis from side to side. Now we've hit all 6 movements of the spine quite a bit throughout our flow. Extension, flexion, rotation, laterally. If another shape is calling to you, please make your way into it. Otherwise, settle yourself into stillness and final Shavasana. The stillness becomes an anchor for the mind to settle. And for us to glance into and around the heart. Gentle movements back into the body. And when you're ready, come into a fetal position on either side of your space. And slowly make your way up to your seat. Keeping a soft gaze or shutting down the eyes. Drawing the hands to heart center. We'll seal in our breath. We'll seal in our practice with 3 breaths. Each breath nourishing and nurturing our heart's intent. Exhale out the air. Inhale. Exhale. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in and out. Bowing to the sacredness of this space with light, love, gratitude, and grace. Namaste.